And September 11th was a pivotal moment in the lives of so many Americans when it happened, especially those in law enforcement. A special agent in our local FBI office was new to the job in 2001 and would work on the team that uncovered terrorism ties to Jacksonville after the attacks. 20 years later, he's reflecting on the attacks, the lives lost, and the continuing fight to keep terrorist attacks at bay. Here's On Your Side's Katie Jeffries.
Protecting America from terrorist attacks has been a calling for Special Agent Sean O'Donovan. He had just come to the Jacksonville FBI office in June of 2001 and was placed on the National Security Squad. 3 months later, on September 11th, he was at a domestic terrorism conference in Quantico, Virginia, when he and the other agents got word something was happening in New York.
Another agent, a few rows back, stood up and said, actually, the second tower was also hit. And at that point, everyone knew it was more than an accident.
They knew the nation was under attack. With flights halted, he and 2 other agents jumped in the car and raced back to Jacksonville, immediately beginning to work the tips pouring in from the public.
We got thousands and thousands, and I think they're probably all still in the filing cabinet upstairs, of calls we got in.
Out of that investigation came something interesting. Some of the terrorists had ties to the First Coast. 2 of the terrorists that flew planes into the towers had stopped in Jacksonville to refuel during training flights. But one spent a fair amount of time here.
The pilot Ziad Jarrah from the Pennsylvania flight had actually spent time, stayed in a hotel off University at 2 separate times for 2-week periods.
Special Agent O'Donovan says they tracked his activity through payphones, phone cards, and even which restaurant he ordered from. But it is still a mystery why he was here.
We were never able to determine anyone who actually spoke with him or anyone he was meeting. So we don't know why.
The investigation continued, and with that came more losses of life from those at the FBI. One agent died when the towers came down, but more died in the aftermath after going through toxic evidence at the disaster sites.
We know we've seen a lot of odd cancers and health issues for those who were working in the debris of 9/11 and then the aftermath doing the evidence over, and I think it was in Staten Island, where they brought all the evidence to be sifted through.
Through the 2 decades since, he has stayed at the FBI and continued to work in counterterrorism.
And the paradigm shifted on 9/11 and things changed, and we started from some zero, and I was right in on the beginning of that.
Now he is closely watching the change in Afghanistan. It is his fear that the events will inspire those with a jihadist mindset. Also, he says social media has changed the game because terrorist propaganda now has a much wider reach. But he wants American citizens to know there are men and women in local, state, and federal agencies, the military, and intelligence working every single day to ensure an attack does not happen again. And ordinary citizens can help that fight in a simple way. See something, say something.
People in their everyday lives can see something that's out of the ordinary, something that seems wrong, and that's kind of what we need to help us.
In Jacksonville, Katie Jeffries, First Coast News, On Your Side.
Thank you, Katie.